Booyah! Tippy time, my damies, and welcome to episode 15 of Reviewedly Interrupted, where I am going to review one of the more well-known movies by my personal favorite director of all time. This guy is my absolute favorite director of all time. I'm going to be doing Takashi Miike's Audition. This movie is sick. It's like a twisted love story fairy tale. You know, it's like, it's very surreal at parts where it's like, did they really have these conversations or what's going on? Were they really here? Were they really there? It's just, I don't know. It just gets a little strange, and the deeper he gets into finding out her secrets. Ooh. But, yeah, at the moment I got the 2-disc collector's edition, which was on DVD, which is pretty cool. I dig this little set, but I do plan on upgrading it to Blu-ray because I think it look really good in Blu-ray and shit. And yeah, I mean, I've phlegm, dude. But I started getting into Takashi Miike with like, the staples. Like Imprint, Gozu, Ichi the Killer, and Audition. There's like these certain ones that are more well known. I plan on doing some like little more obscure ones like down the road. I got a lot of Takashi Miike movies, and I will be doing each one of them at some point. And fuck yeah, I mean, there's some great ones. Like I said, my favorite director, and I love it. There's still more movies. I think there's a few out there that I need to hurry up and snag up. It'd be awesome. Keep adding to my collection. It's like 51. It's pretty cool. But like Audition is going to be the one I'm going to be doing this time. Should be pretty cool, better known one. And there's a lot of people in it that like he uses in so many of his movies, like reoccurring actors that like a lot of other directors, like to do. Like everybody's favorite, Rob Zombie, and then like Quentin Tarantino does the same thing. And, like even comedies like all the different Will Ferrell, Ben Stiller, all those different guys, how they pop up in each other's movies or whatever in the fuck. That whole thing. The Adam Sandler with the recurring motherfuckers. And yeah, it's just like really good because it's really intense. It's not like, I mean, the ending, everybody that's seen it knows that ending is pretty fucking cool, It's just like all of a sudden it's like, what? It ramps up. Like there's some weird shit early on where it kind of makes you go like, oh, dude, stuff is really, not good with this chick. She's fucking off her rocker, and you're like, holy crap. Because this dude's just like, family dude, goes to work, does this and that. The way he does it, like the interview thing is kind of like deceptive, but I mean, I think this came out in like 99, which makes sense. Yeah, like 1999. It's still the 90s, where it was just like, we still had like fucking, it was like almost a carryover of like, how the thrillers that came out, like fucking Fatal Attraction and fucking Sliver and all that kind of shit, like a fucking romance. Do you think there's some like, although with Fatal Attraction he was just like, man, I fucking banged you, that was it. But like, that thriller, Hand That Rocks the Cradle, even, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that 90s type feeling thriller where it's like, but the ending in this is like aces. Like it's not as tame, but like that same kind of formula where it's just like you see just how the action progresses. It's a really good like thriller, because it starts getting uneasy where you're like, whoa, this chick is not what she seems to be. You know what like I was saying. So yeah, but pretty excited to watch it again. Shit, dude, I fucking love this shit. I love this movie. He's my favorite director, and it's always a joy to watch some Takashi Miike. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go watch this mofo, and then Yeah, we'll yap about it. Well, I did it again. I say we, but it's me. It's me. What a sad, sad state of affairs. All right. I'm gonna go watch this. All right. Horror classic. Audition. Fucking great. If you know this movie, you know. You know about that shit going on. All right. Gabba chow, my damies. Back in a bit. Wow. Well, holy delete your Tinder profile, Batman. Audition. I've seen this like a handful of times and everything. It's a good fucking movie. It's solid. And fuck yeah, dude. It's just like how it plays out is just so fucking great because it's like this blend of styles that's like you don't really see put together that just kind of fucking flow and go for it, and it's pretty fucking cool, you know. And see, this motherfucker came out in 1999, and it's like if you know the ending, you know, like just like the fucking crazy torture ending and shit. It's like came out in 1999. What Saw came out in 2004. Hostel came out in 2005. So this movie, like the fucking ending, the torture scene and shit, it's like it beat those movies that were pretty notorious for their shit by like 5 years at least, you know? So I mean, they were totally like I'm gonna say for sure Hostel, definitely inspired by Takashi Miike. The fact that Takashi Miike's in Hostel, he has a little cameo in there, you know, and definitely influenced by it. I don't know if Saw would be directly influenced by it, but you know, you weren't really seeing shit like that in American cinema, you know, for a little bit there, at least in like mainstream. Even though Saw was like independent, and so was Hostel, I guess, right? If I remember correctly, I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched special features on that. But like Saw for sure was like pretty independent, but ended up like blowing up, you know, whole franchise and shit. Yeah, it's so great. It's like my girlfriend has this take on it that like everything's cool until like, you know, they bone down for that first time when they go on that little weekend getaway and everything, and then he starts like getting major cold feet, and it almost becomes like a surreal, like what we go through when it's like all of a sudden there's this big commitment like on our doorstep and we're not ready for it, because he never really got over the death of his wife. I mean, he did to a point, but he never completely did, you know? And I don't know, that's a pretty cool take on it. You know, it's like, I never really looked at it that way. It's like a very kind of, it's much deeper than what I was just watching at a much maybe shallower level or something, you know, just like more straight on. But she was like really reading into it, and I'm like, that's a very, very interesting take on it. It's like, me, I saw it as like, mostly a big chunk of the movie was very like Fatal Attraction, like basically it looked and had the feel, if you listen to the music and everything else, how it was playing out, it was playing out like a real like almost like a Takashi Miike style of that like early 90s, mid 90s fucking American thrillers like that, you know, the ones like Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction, Sliver, Hand That Rocks the Cradle, you know, like lots of stuff that was coming out. What was that? The Tenant or something like that, with like where Michael Keaton was like a bad motherfucker or something. Just a lot of those like thrillers like that, where it's like it seems like everybody's like cool and everything's fine, but you just know, and you get this like undertone, and then it starts rearing its head more and more, where it's like some shit ain't right with this one motherfucker right here or something, you know? Kind of played out like that, and then it got like really fucking brutal at the end, you know? It got very surreal and dreamlike there, where it was like, what's really going on, you know? It does kind of like throw you for a loop, where it's like, you know, is he dreaming everything? Is what's real and what's not real? What happened, what didn't happen, you know? So it does kind of like get kind of like weird there, but like, it just really played out like if Takashi Miike redid fucking Fatal Attraction or something, and it's just fucking nuts and brutal. And it's like the guy's a good guy, he's a good family guy, although it's like, he's very dishonest from the dishonesty. There's there was originally a silent T in there, but they took it out because people said it that way. It's a dictionary, look it up. You got to get one of those really good ones that gives you like the history of the word and everything. At least I'm pretty sure, because I like thought about Googling it, and then I was like, that's a stupid thing to Google. So I think I was just like, you know what? Just, it's a thing now. So yeah, but he's like dishonest from the beginning, throwing the audition. I mean, even though it was like, it was definitely dishonest. It did have like a double kind of role where it's like one motherfucker was trying to make a movie and shit. So it was like, yeah, it's going to be like a real audition, but for like two different things or whatever, a very personal one. So he started off dishonest, and fucking Asami, she's just straight up dishonest from the beginning, It's like what kind of gave it away is when she's like, I related to the story of the movie. So she knew the plot of the movie. So it's like, she knew the plot. So when she turned in her shit saying like, oh, I played piano and ballet dancer and stuff like that. Was she really a ballet dancer? Was she really? Or was she not? It's like, it's kind of like if you've seen Imprint, where it's like the story keeps changing. And it's like, what's the real fucking story? It's almost like this, where it's like, but then, the ending really gives away that, like, yeah, there's definitely something wrong with her. There was definitely, like, some shit going on. Just some of the things she said, like, you said you love your son. You said you would only love me. It's like she's got some real fucking issues where it's like, oh, no, dude. It's like, it doesn't matter. You're going to be mine and mine alone. No one else can have you in any kind of capacity. And that's like fucking wild, dude. It's like, goddamn. And it's like, I'm pretty sure we've all dated a psycho. I mean, thank God. Maybe you did lose a foot, and it's like, sucks to be you, because I didn't lose a foot. Although I think sometimes, if it would have just ended sooner, it would have been preferable to just lose a foot. Because dating psycho people is like having emotional type 2 diabetes. You just want to lose the foot and get it over with. That's what that's like. But yeah, and it's just like, oh man, I just love how it builds. Like I said, it really plays like this kind of like retro, like fucking just American thriller that turns into kind of a slasher, or something, it's the thriller, and then just like the really brutal torture at the end, which is so Takashi Miike, but it's like coming out at a time, before a lot of stuff hit. Like, I mean, it was really after those movies came out in America, The Saw and The Hostel and shit like that it was like, it kind of started opening my eyes to some other stuff, and people were saying like Audition, it's like pretty fucking brutal and stuff. Ichi the Killer, they were like, dude, that one's fucking madcap crazy and stuff too. And it's like, watching an Audition is so great because it's a build to like this crescendo of holy fuck, and that's fucking great. Fucking great. 2-disc edition DVD. I can't wait to get it on Blu-ray from Arrow. They got a very nice Blu-ray edition. I would love to see this in high def. And now I'm going to skip really quick and talk about what I'm going to be doing next week, because it's pretty exciting, because nobody realized that episode 8, if you scroll and you look, goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. And it turns out that the master for episode 8 had been lost. It like fell behind some shit, and it was like, I couldn't see it. So Like, it's been recently uncovered while we were doing some spring cleaning, late spring cleaning, where we were doing that we found episode 8. So next week will be episode 16/8, my Lost episode. Reviewedly Interrupted's Lost episode is going to be next week. And it's going to come from this box set. Oh, yeah, Chilling Classics. Oh, 50 movies. I probably got this for like $8. It's fucking funny as shit to me. Or maybe it was like $10. It might have been those ones that was a little more where it's like the deal was still good per movie. And I was like, man, fuck it. But yeah, the fucking 12-disc set of Chilling Classics. I know a bunch of you motherfuckers have shit like this, and they're kind of like a guilty pleasure. But I'm going to be doing the movie Devil Times 5. That's the one that I did. I did Devil Times 5. Not going to do it. Did it. Fucking all I got to do is make sure the master is all good to go, and I will review Devil Times 5. I haven't seen it for a bit. It's going to be pretty cool to watch it again. But I'll read this. No, I'm not even going to read the synopsis for you. You know, I'm going to, like, you're going to see, I covered all that on the video. It's like, it's going to be a little dusty. It's going to be, you might see a little dust. Because it was back behind some shit. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bust that shit out. And yeah, next week is the Lost episode. So, I mean, be prepared for episode 16/8, Lost episode, where I reviewed Devil Times 5. I don't know if you've heard of it, but we'll go through that next week. This week, Audition. Oh, it's such a great movie. I just love how it fucking plays. It's like, you could see like a young, like, Michael Douglas playing a part in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. You could see that shit. You know? And it's like, I don't know, it's a really solid movie. And, you know, if you're already a fan of Takashi Miike, then you're probably a fan of this or whatever, you know? And, like, I'm going to be reviewing more of his shit, you know, at later dates. Really diving in there, getting into some little off the beaten path shit a little bit that I have. But if you don't know much about Takashi Miike, or you haven't watched Takashi Miike yet, and have heard about him, Audition is a really solid one. It's like not crazy gonzo fucking wild, you know, like how Ichi the Killer is, and like Gozu even gets out there and shit. But if you just sit and you just go with the fucking story, it's great, because it really does. It just, the characters are really great. The acting is really great, you know? And it's like, as it goes along, it gets a little more unsettling, little bits and pieces here, a little waggly, severed tongue. But like, if you sit and it'll really grow on you. There'll be little things you'll see as you watch it like more times, but it's a great start if you want to get into Takashi Miike. It's because it's a really, really well done flick. It really is. I mean, the script and everything. It's the pacing. I think the pacing is really good. You know, like I said, the music that's chosen and everything else, the settings. It's a really beautiful fucking film. You know, even up through the violence. It's just how it's done, the camera angles, everything. It's just a really beautiful movie. So yeah, like definitely, if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have seen it, fucking watch it again. Duh. It's my favorite director, dude, Takashi Miike. Next time I do one of his films, I'm gonna dive into something a little like I said, off out of the way a little bit, you know, kind of jump it around, not just do all of his like main ones first, you know, the main ones that are like, I don't know, most well known, I will say. But yeah, you know, so definitely check it out. You know, get like this is a good little set if you want to, like, you know, listen to some interviews, get a little more in depth with like, you know, the actors and the characters and the film, you know, the plot, just, and then even the director's commentary would be pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check that out sometime. But and I got a link for like the Blu-ray, which I got to pick up sometime. But even I think it might even be streaming on like Tubi or Netflix or something. So yeah, a very beautiful, very lovely thriller. Yeah, by Takashi Miike, Audition. Yeah, so I guess that's all I'm gonna yap on about for this right now. I don't really think I need to yap much more. There's already so many words out of my mouth. They're just flowing. They're just flowing out of my mouth like mouth water. I have mouth word water, and it's going right into your ear, and it's probably going to give you swimmer's ear, and I'm sorry for that. It's going to be a thing from now on. Just take eardrops with you to the pool. You're going to have to. Just no, just go to the pharmacy and get some eardrops, okay? Don't even argue. Just go do it, okay? It's going to happen. But, yeah. This has been episode 15 of Reviewedly Interrupted with me, your host, Pootie Tang. So, catch you next week with, I'm going to get my lost episode all put together. It still needs to be edited, and then I'll put it up there for y'all. Tippy time, my damies. I have signed your pity on the runny kind, and it's time for me to bid you adieu. God damn it.